Hey everyone, it's Tuesday and it is that time of the week when I read my disclaimer. This week, no general commentary. I'm going to show you an amazing stock pick of a stock that, in my opinion, is a future blue chip where people are going to look back to today and do something I'm going to point out to you that is a catalyst for, I think, just rocketing this stock back to the moon. But before I tell you the name of the stock and tell you why, how, when, kind of when, but definitely why and how, let's do this, the disclaimer, which is that this video and all the content from my company, ATG Digital Media, not investment advice, opinion, information, engagement, entertainment for those of you who find me hilarious. I know some people do. They write me because I know this for a fact. All right. Past performance does not equal future results. Yeah, just because something happened before doesn't mean it's going to happen again. Errors, mistakes, oversights, yeah, they happen. I mean, we try to do our best, but it can happen. Capital loss is a likely outcome when you invest, when you speculate, when you trade. Losses are a possibility, and you should take that into account before you choose to do anything. Finally, I, the owners, contractors, employees, associates of ATG Digital Media, own, trade, transact in the investments that are mentioned in this video, in our model portfolios, in our updates, in our Substack, in my Twitter, on my podcast, all the places that I usually get to. All right. So there was an announcement, I believe it was yesterday, saying this. Dean put this up. All right. Put up the thing about PayPal. PayPal, which, as you know, is this very giant payments company, came out of eBay. It's also the original company that Elon Musk worked on and is the inspiration for what he's pursuing with X right now. But that is a totally, completely different video that maybe I'll get to some other time. Let's get back to PayPal. All right. PayPal announced that it is going to pursue its own stablecoin. Wow. I mean, PayPal, which is like, many people think of PayPal as being like this very stodgy, kind of old school company, not quite as old as the banks, not quite as old as Warren Buffett's insurance companies, but like, it's like PayPal, like, oh my gosh, it's like, oh, that's like what, maybe your parents used or something like that. That's the way people think about it because it's been around since the mid 1990s. But PayPal today is actually a company that is made up of many different platforms, the biggest of which is Venmo. And many people are now familiar with Venmo. I use Venmo. I'm pretty sure many of you do, to send money to each other. There's the old, of course, PayPal app, which is still around and still used. On my travels through Southeast Asia, I was amazed. There are people in places like Vietnam and Cambodia that actually advertise that they take PayPal. So this is like an actual live platform that is widely used around the world. They also have lesser known apps like Zoom, XOOM, and others that essentially provide this like kind of company that is made up of these payment apps. So it kind of makes sense that PayPal would be interested in this stable coin, right? And you may be thinking, well, stable coin, essentially that's like a digital, well, in the US, it would be a digital dollar, but for other folks, I mean, maybe the PayPal introduced other digital currencies, but I believe they're going to get started with this stable coin, which is going to be, I believe it's going to be PayPal, right? That's going to be the branding, PayPal stable coin. And it's going to be used on Venmo. It's going to be used on PayPal. And so you might be thinking, well, why are they getting involved in this? Like, what's the upside? Why bother? Because I mean, there's definitely going to be a cost. There's definitely going to be obviously all this regulation. Why get involved in all of this? Well, hey, look at the economics behind stablecoin, right? Many people don't know, but the world's largest stablecoin is something called Tether. which has been around, I believe, since about 2010. I might be wrong by a year or two, and they generate $850 million in profits. $850 million in profits. All right. Yeah, 850 million. Dean, put that up. I mean, 850 million. So, yeah, 850 million. I mean, that's nearly $1 billion worth of profits. I can tell you that if the big banks imagined that a stable coin could be that good a business, they would have all gotten into it much, much earlier on. But they're too wedded to their old models to be able to do that. And maybe that would have stopped them. But nonetheless, for PayPal, they're a digital platform. They don't have bank branches. I mean, so for them to get into this is all upside. I mean, $850 million. So you might be thinking, well, that's fine, Paul, but where would PayPal get the customers for its stablecoin? Tether, of course, has been around. It's associated with crypto. They were sort of like the OGs of sort of the stablecoin business when there was a need in crypto. Well, take a look at PayPal's balance sheet, folks. PayPal holds 37 billion plus. Dean, show that. $37 billion worth of its customers' cash. 37 billion. Now just go with me on this and just assume that they flicked a switch, just like that, flicked a switch and said, hey, all of your deposits are now going to be in stablecoin unless you tell us to keep it in cash. Yeah, I mean, they could do that. They could make it part of their agreement, like just change every time you log into Venmo or PayPal or Zoom and just say, hey, we changed the terms. And from now, if you leave your money there, it's going to be in our stable coin. Let's say they did that. And, stuff like that is done all the time. Most people probably would be like, it's fine. You get some benefits. Maybe they give you a higher interest rate for it, some incentive to do this. And now suddenly PayPal would become, look at this. This is from a website called DeFi Llama. They would become the #2 stable coin in the world. So if you just do the math this and see Tether has what, like 82 billion, $83 billion. They would have 37 billion, and that's today. And PayPal's platform is huge. I mean, they've got Venmo, they got PayPal, they're worldwide. What will their deposits be, 2-3 years from now, 5 years from now? Yeah, it could be hundreds of billions of dollars, which would mean enormous profits for them. Enormous profits for them. And hey, so let's get down to the company. I mean, the company just, PayPal just recently reported their earnings. I'm going to show it to you. Their revenues grew by 8%. I mean, everything's going, reasonably well. But the thing is that, those initial surges of growth driven by the discovery of Venmo, by new customers, by PayPal being used, now a little bit here and there at retail. The adoption rate has, slowed a little bit, which is completely reasonable. But if they introduced a stable coin, I mean, obviously they would get that initial surge, and then who knows what it would do to their current applications, Venmo and PayPal or Zoom, or maybe to, all of their other sort of like businesses worldwide. Would people start to use the platforms more, start to use the stable coins more? I can tell you many folks around the world would love access to a US dollar stable coin, where they can just, very quickly go back and forth between their existing currencies, maybe a digital currency like Bitcoin, to the dollar, have that sort of like triangle go on. And if PayPal were to become the first one there, they would definitely get a big benefit from that. And I can tell you one thing, this much is certain. It is not discounted into PayPal stock. Look at this chart. I mean, it's the story of, truthfully, PayPal and many, many, many growth stocks. I well know this, and many of you well know this. But look, $310, what, like, about 2.5 years ago, and now it's 62. But what could a brand new growth project bring to PayPal? I mean, it could really increase the utilization and the volume and the amount of cash that is on the PayPal platform. And in my opinion, my judgment, in my view, it is not priced in. It is not priced in. I mean, PayPal stock is still down like what, 80% from the peak. It's not priced in. Still, folks, it's still a fairly young company. Venmo's still a fairly young platform when you compare it to the existing banks or Western Union, anything like that. So, sometimes these small shifts can really mean, a big change across all these platforms. Remember, it's one big digital platform in the end. They start to collect a lot of money in stablecoins, which increases the volume. It all now begins like, just a whole crescendo of things that are positive in nature that can rocket sales up, profits up, and then obviously the stock. I want to mention quickly that if you like analysis like this, you're interested in growth companies, fintech companies, generally newer stocks. I call them new world stocks, OGI stocks sometimes, opportunity growth and innovation. Well, then check out atgdigital.media. That's the website for my company. We've got subscriptions that begin at $9.99 per month. $9.99 per month. Some people apparently think it's $999. Wow, we'd be swimming in money if that was true, right? We cover innovation, growth stocks, and then and crypto. We provide stock and crypto picks, updates, sort of market strategy and commentary. And if you kind of want to get a taste for what it sounds like, what it reads like, my Substack is completely free, paulmampilli.substack.com. All right, finally, thanks for watching. Come back next week. This is Paul saying bye.